Hello, children. Welcome back. Welcome back to the second part of the story, two stories about flying. And today we are going to do with the Black Aeroplane. But before we start, children, I want to talk to you. Are you doing your assignments, children, regularly? Uh, every morning when we upload the assignments, after that we can see that how many of you are accessing it, how many of you have watched it. Unfortunately, I want to say that the whole strength does not appear. Are you not watching every day, children? If you do not watch, you will end up in trouble. We do not have any other option than to access this e-learning. So you have to be very particular, children, regarding this, because how long this will continue, we do not know. So we have to rely on this e-learning and we have to try hard. We teachers are doing our level best to support you, to suffice you with the materials for your study, for all the subjects. So children, you are also to be very particular about that. Now, secondly, children, you are blessed. You have this access of phones, Android phones, etc., where you can do this, check this type of classes. Think of your friend who is also bored appearing, who stays in the remotest village, and he doesn't have any access of internet. Or if he has, he will fight for the internet, or he will fight for his earning his food and shelter today in this pandemic situation. Maybe when you are accessing your mobile, when you are doing your assignments, he is walking long way, miles after miles, with his parents to come back to his native village. You are blessed, children. Utilize it. We have come to know that many of you are not using it properly. I do not say, I don't think many of you, but few are there who are misutilizing it, who are watching movies, playing games in mobile. Do that, but utilize your mobile in the best way you can do. Otherwise, it will be a very painful thing. You will not get more time when the lockdown will open, and maybe we would have to rush at that time. So you have to be very particular and up to date with your studies. It's a humble request, children, to all of you. Another point that I want to say is that in the last video, I told you that we teachers, parents are there to support you, to say you that when you are in trouble, then what to do, how to do, we are ready to show you the way, to guide you. But unfortunately, today's situation is such, children, that even we have not experienced this day. We do not know what world is waiting for us after the lockdown, post-lockdown period. We do not know. It is also unseen to us, unknown to us. Only our experience says that it will be very difficult. So in that case, your parents are also worried. Don't put them in more worriness. Let them feel relaxed that at least their children are doing their proper work. If they have to take the tension, the worriness that whether you are studying also or not, along with their own trouble, it would be a very painful thing. So children, it's my request, please do your studies properly with the help of this app. Feel free to ask about your doubts in the Campus Care message box. Feel free to WhatsApp us. We will try to sort out your problem as soon as possible, as much as possible. If needed, we will call you back. If needed, we can take classes also, doubt clearing classes also, if required. We will try to sort out, we will try to help out in every possible way. But you do your work. Teachers are working very hard to support you. So the support we also want from your side, then only it will be a complete work done. Now, let us come back to our chapter. I am not very skeptical. I hope that these things will get over soon in the best possible way and we shall overcome. Let us start. The moon was coming up in the east behind me and stars were shining in the clear sky above me. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. I was happy to be alone high up above the sleeping countryside. I is the narrator here. He is flying an aeroplane and he is describing his journey, his experience about his journey. So it was a night sky and it was a clear sky. Point to be noted, it was a very clear sky and he started his journey. I was happy to be alone high up above the sleeping countryside. The whole countryside was sleeping and he was very happy to fly above the countryside. And he was flying his old Dakota aeroplane. You know that Dakota aeroplane, very famous. So his Dakota was old and he was flying that over France back to England. He was coming back to England. He started from France and he was coming back to England. I was dreaming of my holiday and looking forward to being with my family. I looked at my watch, 1:30 in the morning. 1:30 in the morning means you can say 1:30 in the night, that is 1:30 a.m. At that time he was flying his aeroplane and he was dreaming of his holiday and looking forward to being with his family. Very happy and excited to come back and to join his family. I should call Paris control soon, I thought. As I looked down past the nose of the aeroplane, I saw the lights of a big city in front of me. He wanted to confirm that whether he was moving or flying properly or not. So he wanted to call to the Paris control station. So I saw the lights of a big city in front of me. I switched on the radio and said, Paris control, Dakota DS-088 here. Can you hear me? I am on my way to England. Over. So it was a good weather, good connection. He could talk to them and he was comfortably flying. The voice from the radio answered me immediately. DS-088, I can hear you. You ought to turn 12 degrees west now. DS-088, over. So they guided him to turn 12 degrees west from there. I checked the map and the compass, switched over to my second and last fuel tank and turned the Dakota 12 degrees west towards England. So 2 fuel tanks he had. One was exhausted, we can understand, and so he had to switch on to the second fuel tank and that was the last fuel tank and turned the Dakota 12 degrees west towards England. I'll be in time for breakfast, I thought. The whole night he will fly and then comfortably he will reach to his family and to join them to the breakfast in the morning. So he was very happy and excited. I thought a good big English breakfast. Everything was going well. It was an easy flight. So everything was under control and he was very happy that he was moving properly, correct on time, and on the time he will reach to his family. He will have breakfast with them and he was very happy and excited. Paris was about 150 kilometers behind me when I saw the clouds, storm clouds. Suddenly, the clear sky turned to be something different. There was the storm clouds could be seen. They were huge, quite big, and they looked like black mountains standing in front of me across the sky. I knew I could not fly up and over them, and I did not have enough fuel to fly around them to the north or south. Now the cloud was such big that if he would wish to fly above the cloud, then he cannot do that. If he takes a turn and moves around the cloud, then his fuel tank will be over. That also he couldn't do. Then what to do? The only option is to go through the cloud. I ought to go back to Paris, I thought, but I wanted to get home. I wanted that breakfast. Now, two choices. One is either he has to go back to Paris or he has to move forward. Paris, he did not want to go because he did not want to miss his breakfast with his family in England. So, the only option left for him was to move forward. I will take the risk, I thought, and flew that old Dakota straight into the storm. So he had to take the risk to move through the storm. Inside the clouds, everything was suddenly black. It was impossible to see anything outside the aeroplane. The old aeroplane jumped and twisted in the air. You can understand that it fell into the pocket, and definitely the plane started flying erratically. I looked at the compass. I couldn't believe my eyes. The compass was turning round and round and round. That is, it was not showing any north. It was moving round and round, and finally it was dead. It would not work. Then how to find out the way? The other instruments were suddenly dead too. I tried the radio. Now all the instruments surrendered. No instrument was working now. The compass got dead and rest of the instruments also got out of work. Only now he tried with the radio. Paris control, can you hear me? There was no answer. That means the radio was dead too. I had no radio, no compass, and I could not see where I was. Totally black. I was lost in the storm. Then in the black clouds quite near me, I saw another aeroplane. Then suddenly, out from nothing, there came up another aeroplane. It had no lights on its wings, but I could see it flying next to me through the storm. Fortunately, he saw that another aeroplane was flying beside him. It did not have any light on its wings, but he could see the aeroplane, and the aeroplane was flying along with him. But I could see it flying next to me through the storm. I could see the pilot's face, even in the black, when there was no light almost on the wings, and when such black cloud it was, he could see the face of the pilot in the aeroplane, and the face turned towards me. I was very glad to see another person. He lifted one hand and waved. First of all, he felt very excited that at least someone else was there to save him, at least to accompany him. Someone was there. So he was not alone in this whole world. So I was very glad to see another person, and he lifted one hand and waved him. What did he say? Follow me. He was saying, follow me. That by showing his signature, he wanted to say that to follow him. That is, the pilot of the other plane wanted to say to the pilot of our story that to follow him. He knows that I am lost, I thought. Then I understood that definitely he has understood that I have lost my way. He is trying to help me. Finally, he has come as a savior to me. He turned his aeroplane slowly to the north in front of my Dakota so that it would be easier for me to follow him. That is, if he goes side by side, I might lose the track. So it was easier for me, better for me. He moved forward and came just in front of me so that I can follow behind him. I was very happy to go behind the strange aeroplane like an obedient child. I did not have any other option other than to follow the aeroplane. So like a very obedient child, without thinking anything else, I knew only to follow the aeroplane, only to follow the instructions of the other pilot. After half an hour, the strange black aeroplane was still there in front of me in the clouds. Now there was only enough fuel in the old Dakota's last tank to fly for 5 or 10 minutes more. Now I could understand that still there were in front of me in the black clouds, half an hour the strange black aeroplane was there. I could understand that half an hour I followed the aeroplane in the dark. And now I could understand that hardly 5 to 10 minutes time is left with me because the fuel tank is getting exhausted. It has only 10 minutes fuel maximum with it. So I have to manage within that. If I can manage, if the aeroplane help me to manage, fine. If not, I'll be finished, perished. I was starting to feel frightened again. But then he started to go down and I followed through the storm. As soon as the idea came to my mind that what to do next, how long, how far shall I go like this, how long shall I have to be in the air because the fuel is getting exhausted. Immediately when the idea came to his mind, suddenly he realized that the plane which he was following was coming down. Going down, and I followed through the storm. Suddenly I came out of the clouds and saw two long straight lines, and all of a sudden he found that he came out from the storm, from the black storm. And as he came out from the storm, he saw that two lines, straight lines of lights could be seen. What can be two straight lines of lights? That is the airport. So he saw suddenly that two lines, straight lines of lights in front of me. It was a runway. And it was a runway, an airport. I was safe. So finally I realized that the tension is over. The aeroplane had showed him the right path and he has reached to the airport and he is safe now. Fuel is also there, got the way also, and finally got the airport also where he could land safely. It was my friend I was safe. I turned to look for my friend in the black aeroplane. So definitely he was his friend who saved him in this such terrific situation. He helped him to come out of this situation, in this trouble situation. So he is his friend and he needed to be thanked. We should be thankful to the person who helped us after the work is done. We should not forget them. We should remain thankful to that person. He also felt that he should thank that person, that pilot. And it was, I turned to look for my friend in the black aeroplane, but the sky was empty. Suddenly, the sky he found to be empty. No other aeroplane was there. There was nothing there. The black aeroplane was gone and I could not see it anywhere. That black aeroplane was gone and nowhere could be seen. Normally, children, planes are not black. They are of silver color so that it can be seen properly in the sky, even in the dark. But this aeroplane was of black color, but still it could be seen. Though the lights were not there, still the aeroplane could be seen even in the dark storm. So the black aeroplane was gone. I could not see it anywhere. I landed and I was not sorry to walk away from the old Dakota near the control tower. I was very happy now that when I came out of the old Dakota, I was very happy to come down because now I am saved. So I came down near the control tower. I went and asked a woman in the control center where I was and who the other pilot was. I wanted to say thank you. So I reached to the control tower. I met the lady who was sitting in the control tower and I talked to him. I approached to her and I asked her that who was that pilot and who has helped me, and I wanted to thank him also. She looked at me very strangely and then laughed. Another aeroplane? Up there in this storm? No other aeroplanes were flying tonight. Then the surprising answer came from the lady, that very amazing answer came that no aeroplane was there in the sky and in this storm no other aeroplane can be expected also to be there. So no other aeroplanes were flying tonight. Yours was the only one I could see on the radar, and your own aeroplane could be seen in the radar. So who helped me to arrive there safely without a compass or a radio and without any more fuel in my tanks? Who was the pilot on the strange black aeroplane flying in the storm without lights? Now all the answers remain unsolved to him. That how can this be possible? That who can that pilot be that without compass, without radar, almost without fuel, who has helped him to come out of the storm? And if he had made it possible to come out of the storm by helping him, then how was it possible that he has disappeared? He was nowhere in the sky. And the radar says that no other aeroplane was there in the sky. Answer was not known to us. It's an open-ended story, children. Answer is to you. If you say it was a ghost, maybe it is a ghost. If you say it was his illusion, it might be his illusion. He himself has done it. He might have thought about that aeroplane. Whatever it is up to you, children, up to the readers. What the readers will feel can be the end of the story. But the story ends here without any conclusion that where from the plane came, where did it disappear, how did it made its way in the storm without the radar, without the compass, without the radio, without the other instruments. That answer is not known to us. So it's a short story, interesting story, funny story, but a very simple story. You might have enjoyed the story, and from there you will have to answer question number 1, question number 2, question number, all the answers you will have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the answers you are requested to do from the back of the chapter. And for more questions, for more referral questions from the chapters, I will provide you in the next assignment. So thank you for today, children. Thank you very much.